Hey everybody, hi, how are you guys? Well, here I am in, that's Bob back there. Oops, and the orange side, wrong side, he's over there. You can see his, his hand waving in his phone. You have a rare Bob sighting, yes. We are here in Bonners Ferry, Idaho. It is right outside our window here is the Kootenai River. We did this amazing road travel today that went along the upper part of Montana, which is what that first part was from the car, was just the road where we went on this flat road, and all of a sudden the Rocky Mountains just kind of erupted out of nowhere. They were just there, and went along the south side of Glacier. I'll tell you more about why we didn't go into Glacier further than we did, and ended up taking a route down to Whitefish, Montana, and visited the old train station, or the train station there where we went in 1978 on a great ski trip, and then drove up to Big Mountain ski area where we stayed to see how it had changed. Oh my goodness. So a lot of fun things. And then took a back route, thinking everybody's going to be on the main road, Memorial Day weekend. I don't really want to do that. And it was a 15-minute difference in time-wise to do this different kind of route. And we saw just this spectacular thing. And it ended up coming down the Kootenai River, which actually ends up being has a lake that is called the Kootenai, K-O-O-T-C-A-N for Canada, USA for USA, because it starts in Canada and goes all the way down. The lake is probably the reservoir is a good 70 miles long before you hit the dam. And then the river continues another 50 miles here to where we are here. And then it curves down and around, and it goes back up into Canada and comes back down, and I think connects with the Columbia. It's just amazing area. So that was our route. And so here I am. And tomorrow we're going to be in Mazama, which is in the North Cascades, very close to the edge of the North Cascades National Park, which is really remote. And so this is for that night. So here I am on Friday night, recording you for Saturday, and happy Saturday, everybody. So tonight's story is by a gentleman named Ezra Jack Keats. And Ezra Jack Keats is most well known for a book that changed children's literature in America. It's considered the most significant children's book published in the 20th century. He wrote the book, The Snowy Day. And it wasn't so much about what this book was that the snowy day was so significant. It was the first time that an African-American child had been made the main character. Ezra Jack Keats grew up in Brooklyn, I believe it was. Let me look on my notes here. And it was not so much that in the neighborhoods that he saw, he'd seen a child one time and some pictures, and he later on he'd kept these pictures and images, and later on when he wrote The Snowy Day, or Peter's Chair, was it Peter's Chair first? Snowy Day, that he made this little boy Peter the character in it, and realized that all the children's literature was pretty white. So he made a big significant change in that in so many of his books. And he went on to write not only Snowy Day, but he wrote some 22 books and illustrated many more. And he got most of his ideas for books came from his own childhood, from being in the East New York section of Brooklyn. When he was a little boy, he was once considered running away from home. And that's part of the story that he put into Peter's Chair. The neighborhood where he grew up had quite a few gangs of older boys, and that was an important part of his book, Goggles. He said he didn't have a favorite books. He did have, he had serious long-term relationships with wonderful women, but he never married or had children. They say that the fact that he had such a success in writing children's books is that he never completely grew up himself. Whenever he wanted to, he could look at the world just the way a child might. And this made his books just right for kids and grown-ups. He said, why did Ezra create Peter as an African-American child for Snowy Day? Which he said Ezra grew up and lived in New York City, where he saw children of different races and nationalities every day. And as a child of struggling immigrant parents, Ezra knew what it meant to feel like an outsider. When he was a young man, he happened to see a series of photos in a magazine of a little boy who was black, about to get an injection, and he kept those pictures for many years without knowing why they were so important to him. And when he decided to write and illustrate his own picture book, it struck him that all the children's books he'd ever seen were filled with white children. That was when he realized why he had kept those pictures. This little boy was going to be the hero of Ezra's book, and in a way to represent Ezra in a world of his own childhood. So when you see the art in the book that I'm going to read called The Trip, this is a first in several that have a character of a little boy named Louis that he put in. I want you to take a look too at the artwork, because Ezra Jack Keats was trained as a fine artist before he began illustrating books for a living. He worked in oils, watercolor, gouache, and pen and ink. And when he began to illustrate, he also experimented with collage. As you look through his books, you will see all of these mediums. He was born in 1916 and he died in, I believe, 1968. But one of the things, about what we've talked about different books awards is that there is the Ezra Jack Keats Award that is awarded each year. It was created to nurture illustrators and writers early in their careers who create extraordinary books that reflect our diverse population, the universal experience of childhood, and the strength of family and community. Over the years, the EJK has succeeded in fostering the early careers of many of our country's leading children's bookmakers. It's unique in that it's the only award that celebrates books that embrace all ethnic and social groups. The award and honor books constitute the kind of diverse library of outstanding children's books for which we are all working. And I think if I can show you, is administered by the EJK Foundation in partnership with the De Grummond Children's Literature Collection at the University of Southern Mississippi. The De Grummond is recognized as this country's premier collection of children's literature and is also the home of the Keats Archive. Whoa! I would love to go see that. My goodness, can I put that on my list of places to go? I'll show you right here. I can. There it is. iPad. Oh, is the iPad not connected? Let's see. Oh, it did. I'm sorry, I undid that. There it was. Just took its time. There. So, Lala's World and Out into the Big Wide Lake were the 2022 winners announced. This is the Snowy Day you see there for those. And there's, you can find all different kinds of things about him and the people that have won his awards and the books that are there. But the book that I'm going to share with you today, I'm kind of excited. So when we were on our trip in Yellowstone, it was really funny that this group that we were with, we all signed up, random people from all over to sign up to go to Yellowstone Forever to do this, the Bears of Greater Yellowstone workshop field experience. What are the chances of there being more than just Bob and I out of the 10 people on this trip that are from Washington State? Probably not a lot, but okay. There was another couple and a single gentleman also from Washington State. Okay. What are the chances are that those other couple and other gentlemen would live not too far from us? Pretty far, because it's a good sized state. Oh no. Oh no, the single gentleman, Bill, lives in Edmonds, where we used to live. Very right away. Like when we go to Seattle, or go on places, we'll go drive through Edmonds, go take the ferry, go to Edmonds. But the other couple, Jim and Cassandra, they live in Gig Harbor, where my daughter Annalena lives and my grandkids live. And they have a summer place in Vaughan, which that picture was that it says new places, new friends. Like that picture is from the Vaughan Bridge that looks out over to Vaughan Bay. It's 20 minutes from my house. And that's 20 minutes because it's back roads kind of 20 minutes. It's probably, if the crow flies, 5 miles. The chances of that. So it was very funny. New places, new friends. That became the idea of using this book. But I also really want to explore some of Keats' books with you guys. So this is one of the first that I'm going to, and it won't be the only story in this series of Ezra Jack Keats, but this you're going to meet a little boy named, I think his name is Louis. Yes, you're going to meet Louis. And I think you're going to like Louis. He's quite something. So this is Ezra Jack Keats, The Trip. Look at the illustration, how he's done this. And so you think of all the different things he's trained as a fine artist. Yeah. Louis's family moved to a new neighborhood. He didn't know anybody there. No kids, no dogs, no cats. And there weren't even any steps in front of the door to sit on. Louis sighed and went in. Hang on. I just grouped. There we go. Uh-oh. He got an old shoebox. He made a hole in the front and cut out the back and part of the top and began to paste things inside. He taped a piece of colored plastic on the top of the box and another piece on the end, and he hung his plane from the top and closed the box. And Louis looked through the hole. Wow! Louis pretended that he was flying his plane. He flew higher and higher over the moon. He landed in his old neighborhood. It was very quiet. He wandered around. He could hear his own footsteps. Where was everybody? He passed Roberto's old house and stopped suddenly. He turned around and ran as fast as he could. He was trapped. Hey, wait! I know that tail. It's the cat, and you're Roberto, and that must be Amy and Archie. They were his old friends. Surprise! They yelled, trick or treat. Kind of the wrong season, but I had to. Louis took them for a ride on his plane. Everybody ran to the windows to look at them. I love how he integrates real photographs in with the kids here. It was time to go home. Everyone was waving. Trick or treat, Louis heard from afar. Come on, Louis, his mother was saying. Let me help you on with your costume. They could hear the kids outside yelling, trick or treat, trick or treat. Louis went outside to join them. And that's the story of the trip. If you look at all these things, how many of you have ever made a shoebox viewer like that when you were a kid? We used to do them as projects in school. And those diorama type things, you build them in, but then to have a viewfinder like that. And he used it to take himself back to his old neighborhood in his imagination. One of the things that you'll find of the next stories that I read about Louis is Louis really values imagination. And it's pretty spectacular on the things that he does as he moves into this new place to meet new friends. And it's just a lot of fun. It's always something else when Louis is around. And he has a little bit of time that he's been in the neighborhood. And as it goes, he's a little lonely. For friends, he starts to make more friends, but he's on a mission. So let me see if we can get for the next part of Louis' story. It'll come up. And the next part is Louis' search. It's short. We should have time for this. Louis' search. Okay, you guys, revise that. I thought we would do Louis' search, but the internet connection here is people down the casino must be, I don't know, looking up their numbers, who knows what. But I can't quite get everything to go. So We're going to go with one story tonight, and that was the trip. And that's okay. We'll save Louis' search for the next time. We know what's coming. And, oh, and you get another rare Bob sighting back there. There he is. So I'm going to sign off for tonight and get this loaded up for you. That'll take a little bit, but thanks so much for being here and inviting me into your homes to listen to this story. I hope you really enjoy this story by Ezra Jack Keats and are inspired by his artwork. It's the collage, the watercolor, the gouache, the oils, everything that he did and layered so much. We'll look at those some more with the rest of his books once I get home and look more into some of the other books that have won the Ezra Jack Keats Award. It's a pretty spectacular award. It has no limitations on it except requiring the expression of diversity. I think that's wonderful. All right. And that's why they work so well for both kids and adults. So everybody, thank you so much. And until next time, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around. And I thank you for bringing your beauty into my world. Because when I look in the chat and I look at all of you talking back and forth, I know that I am surrounded by wonderful, beautiful people. And it is more of an inspiration to go out and to keep looking. So the first place, though, you need to go look is in the mirror, and it'll be let beauty be looking right back at you. So until next time, you guys, take care and see you at the next story.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Ooh, feeling alright. We won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard. They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards. I just need you by my side. We could be shameless.